Hello, friends. Welcome back to Heartscapes. My name is Michaela, and I'm so glad that you're joining us for day 18 of our 21-day journey with Reiki and poetry on our way to the spring equinox on the 21st of this month. I'm really glad today to welcome Carrie Varela to join us for day 18. And Carrie, you and I have gotten to collaborate in some really fun ways lately. Carrie and I helped to co-host a podcast called Reiki Women. We'll put the link for that down below if you want to check that out. And we've been in conversation about our Reiki practices, Heartscapes on my end, and the Reiki Healing Society on Carrie's end for quite some time. So it's really fun to have you here in this space to collaborate again. Yeah. So Carrie is going to be actually leading our practice today, as well as sharing a poem, one that feels just really juicy for these few moments before we step into spring, and one that hopefully will really settle us into practice really nicely. Carrie, do you want to share a little bit about the poem that you chose, and then go ahead and lead us in when you feel ready?
Yes. Well, thank you, Michaela. Thanks for inviting me in to host one of these meditations. And I think it's such a cool offering to offer, just a lot of mindfulness as you shift into a new season. And I know I can feel the energy of a new season. So it's cool to kind of process that more overtly because sometimes otherwise it just feels like excited energy in me, especially coming into spring because, well, I was born in the summer. So I'm kind of a summer type person.
Yeah, you and me both. Yeah.
All right. Well, so the poem that I chose for today is written by Maria Sabina. She's a Mexican healer and poet, and I just love. Well, I'll drop the poem in our meditation, but I just love the discourse that she offers around what healing could look like. And I think sometimes we don't necessarily really define what healing is to us, and so that when it arrives, we don't really notice it, right? And so there's a lot of different ways you can perceive healing, and even in Western medicine, they don't have like a strident, true definition of what healing is, which I think is so
Mm,
interesting.
yeah.
Um, but anyway, so I'll drop that poem in our meditation, and maybe we just savor the whole feeling of healing and what it looks like, what it feels like for each of us as individuals. And even though I could offer a lot more words about what I think healing is, I think that is really a self-described term, and it's important for us to really be mindful about sometimes the expectations that we put out there with healing. Like there's this thought like, oh, if I heal, then I'll never experience this discomfort again, or I'll never feel this feeling, or I'll never feel this heartbeat break. um, that's probably unrealistic, right? So yeah, I think this poem will help just kind of widen the edges of what we think and perceive healing to be.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, I look forward to being on the receiving end of the meditation for today. So I invite you to take us into it.
All right, so let's begin. Just find a really nice, strong, and comfortable seat. And if you'd like to briefly bring your hands up into Gasho meditation and feeling that unity and connection between your hands and not being too strong with the connection between your hands, pressing the hands too strongly together. Likewise, not having them be too loose, finding some of that balance between those two extremes. And with a sense of softness in the hands, let that softness spread all the way through your body, from your head down to your feet. And you're welcome to keep your hands in Gasho, or if you prefer, to just let them rest on your legs. And if you're feeling a need for more grounding, you could turn your palms down. If you're feeling more like you need expansion, you connection to the sky, then leave your palms facing up. And then become mindful of your breath, taking a few natural breaths. And just follow the air as it flows into your body. And follow the exhales as it flows out of the body. And then gradually just allow your breath to deepen and visualize that you're breathing down into your heart. You could feel the hara as an energetic ball of light, a wheel of light dwelling deep in the pelvis. And then with every inhale, you breathe down into the hara. And with every exhale, you envision this wheel of light, ball of light expanding outward. Breathing down into the hara. And then visualizing the hara expand as you exhale. And then ideally, it's at least my practice of Joshin Kokyo Ho is that I like to feel the hara expand wide enough to encircle my body. I keep with this breathing pattern, breathing down into the hara, and then exhale, feeling the hara expand. And as the hara expands to encompass my body, invite a clearing to happen, just any clearing that needs to happen. Could be emotions or thoughts or energy. So let's take a few more deep breaths, feeling the breathing pattern. Repeat it one more time, just breathing down into the hara and exhale, letting the hara expand. So let's continue to focus our mind on that feeling, breath work, for a few more rounds of breath, and then I'll share my poem. Heal yourself with the light of the sun and the rays of the moon, with the sound of the river and the waterfall, with the swaying of the sea and the fluttering of birds. Heal yourself with mint, neem, and eucalyptus. Sweeten with lavender, rosemary, and chamomile. Hug yourself with the cocoa bean and the hint of cinnamon. Put love in your tea instead of sugar and drink it looking at the stars. Heal yourself with the kisses that the wind gives you and the hugs of the rain. Stand strong with your bare feet on the ground and with everything that comes from it. Be smarter every day by listening to your intuition, looking at the world with your forehead. Jump, dance, sing, so that you can live happier. Heal yourself with beautiful love, and always remember that you are the medicine. So come back into this breathing pattern if you've lost it. Breathing down into the hara. And then with every exhale, the hara expanding, or you feel like you've kind of reached that limit of expansion. Maybe there's a feeling that like there's just this pulse of breath and energy that flows all the way through your body with every exhale. And then being mindful of kind of noticing where the poetry landed for you today, the way you conceive of healing. And if you could just feel that hug, that embrace of healing, where would it shift? Where would it take you, either with your mindset or emotionally or physically? Just tuning in to your body, listening to your body as to what it needs as this energy of spring is upon us. feeling any shifts you might feel inside of your body, just listening to that magic inside of you. Finally, just be one more time, a mindful breath, breathing in down to the hada, and then exhale, a final clearing of thoughts, emotions, energy. And then let's bring our hands back together in Gasho. And with a touch in the unity of the palms, the sealing of our meditation inside. Taking a moment just to honor yourself as medicine, yourself as the healing balm that can cover our wounds, our hurts. And can give us this greater and more expansive feeling of wholeness. So thank you all so much for joining me and Michaela today. Thanks again, Michaela, so much for having me and letting me guide that practice.
That was so beautiful, Carrie. Thank you. How did it feel to you to share that poem in this space?
Well, I love that poem. Obviously, I do. It's on like the cover of my website because I love it so much. But yeah, I mean, to me, healing is so diverse. There's this idea, I think of healing as getting better, not worse. And so I feel like Reiki does do that, energetically, emotionally, physically at times for sure too. That kind of wave of healing can help us get into a new place, and then we get grounded in that place. So I'm always joyful when I really feel that big energetic shift happen. But that's not every day. Every day is like maybe little shifts or a sense of just appreciation that I have time for a practice like this so that I can center myself. I just love Reiki. So anytime I get to sit and, either experience it for myself or guide others into basically what I'm feeling, what feels good and insightful to me in the moment. I'm just happy as a bird. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was really feeling from that poem, receiving it inside of the meditation, I was feeling like healing as the experience of being loved by the earth and being loved by the web of life, and both in the physiological medicinal properties of the plants that were named and the experiences that were named, and just by the act of being in relationship. Like it really brought that relationship that we inherently have with the earth, with the web of life, with all life around us, and that so much of our modern life encourages us to forget or disconnect from or keep at a certain distance or relate to more transactionally, right? So it wasn't like take these herbs because they will heal your issues. It was like be in relationship with them because they love you, right? Like love them back. It was really like what I was feeling. And I got a little teared up at, a few points, like because of that sensation. And like my mind kind of went to places in my garden where some of those plants are growing and they're like starting to come into their flower and come into their fullness. And yeah, so it's just a really lovely, like visceral experience of this aspect of healing that I continue to try to bring myself and others back to. Is like it really starts with our relationship with all of life around us. So I really appreciate being brought back to that place.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, appreciation's so huge, because I think a lot of times healing, it asks us to look at where we feel lack, and even with love, or it's like, oh, I don't have that, but it's like there's so much to love, there's so much like that loves us. So it's like widening our perspective around where we're receiving it. Yeah, like, I don't know, getting lost in the things, the sensation, the smells. I love it. It just enlivened.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Carrie, for being with us on this day of this journey. Friends, if you, like me, just really enjoyed, appreciated being guided in that way by Carrie, I'm going to leave ways that you can be in touch with her, connect with her in a variety of ways, as well as links to the podcast that she and I co-facilitate with Bronwyn Logan down in the notes below, as well as where you can find more information about this poem. And as you go throughout the rest of your day, as you move from this really lovely connected place that we got to spend together, may you be deeply provisioned for every step of that journey. I will see you next time. And until then, I love you. Bye-bye.